The most successful Web3 projects are all using a strategy that no one seems to be talking about and no one seems to know of. This is the exact strategy that we've used at Unfungible to grow our business into a multi-7-figure per year business, have a team of over 20 full-time employees, and have the opportunity to work with some of the best, most established brands, many of whom you might be a user or love and adore. This is a strategy that I've seen work with all types of Web3 businesses, whether you are launching a project and have a token coming out, or an NFT project, have a protocol, have a product, offer services. This is a strategy that works across the board, and you can implement this strategy instantly tonight for $0. We call this strategy at Unfungible the discovery call loop. So what is the discovery call loop? The premise that led to this strategy coming to be and the reason why it works is because in Web3, we do not have users. Web3 are super users. Unlike in Web2, where oftentimes brands are selling lower ticket items, tens of dollars or sometimes hundreds of dollars, in rare cases, thousands of dollars. In Web3, the reason why we have super users is because oftentimes people do not limit themselves to small purchases. People, especially in the right product, end up buying in with size. It is not uncommon to have a handful of people own a couple percentages of a token supply or a token price or NFT supply that is on the market. People in Web3, when they have conviction on a project, are going to become super users. These are the people. In the case of a client of ours who deployed and implemented and perfected this strategy, had their users, had people swipe and buy dozens of NFTs off the floor, increasing the floor price and having it skyrocket to over 1 Ethereum. So this is the first premise of this strategy. The second premise is that in Web3, 1 + 1 = 11. I remember back in 2021, as I was getting in the world of Web3, I speak to this very successful Web3 founder, friend of mine. I ask him, I'm like, bro, I have a lot of Web2 marketing experience. What is a big difference when it comes to Web3? He looks at me. He's like, Leon, in Web3, 1 + 1 = 11. I look at him. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Leon, in Web3, 1 and 1, these are your community members. When you put them in together, it creates 11. Because a good Web3 project is one where the community becomes your marketing team. It is your community that goes out there and onboards new people into your ecosystem. They bring their friends, they bring their alpha group, they talk to you in the groups that they're part of. This is the power of having a strong community, which is 1 + 1 = 11. So based on these two premises, which is number one, super users, people in Web3 buy in quantities and sizes that can be very high. And number two, which is people, when onboarded the right way in the right project, are going to bring in their friends with them. Then it makes a lot of sense how you would want to have a discovery call strategy as part of your marketing funnel, like you would in a B2B business, for example, like we do at Unfungible. Because here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen, where a lot of Web3 projects fail is that they are operating on defense. They are working as if the prospects or their ideal customers are going to come to them. They sit there and they lie the trap, and then they just spend their day waiting in their Discord, waiting on their X account to see their ideal customer just follow them or join the Discord or just buy into what they have to offer. That is not the way to do it. Your ideal customer is already around you. They're already looking at you. They are already listening to your Twitter spaces. They're already following you. They already engage on your X account. They're already in your Discord channel. They're already on your website. They're already in your connection group with people that are already following you. Your ideal customers are already here. All we need to do is we need to move into an offensive stance. We need to move from defense to offense. And we need to be the ones to go to them and hunt for the treasure. Web3 marketing is a lot like a gold rush. If you've seen a gold rush, the way it works is it's not a mountain where you have like a chunk of gold in it. No, it's a river or it's a patch of soil that to the naked eye looks like just dirt. But then you have to sift through kilos and kilos and sometimes tons of sand only to find one nugget of gold. And this is what Web3 marketing is. Your ideal customer, the people, the super users that you have, the people that are going to talk to their friends about you. These are nuggets of gold. We need to move from a defensive into an offensive stance and reach out to those people. And the framework that we use is the discovery call loop. And the way it's going to happen is the following. And this is a framework that we recently saw from a partner of ours that absolutely mastered it. I'm going to be linking the case study to this project at the end of this video. But one thing they did very well is anytime they saw someone of interest, someone that looked like their ideal customer profile, follow them, comment on their post, join their Discord, or ask a question on their Discord. The moment they saw this, they didn't wait for the person to come and buy. They went in, they messaged the person, and they tried to build a connection with them over a call. A simple framework that you can use is, hey Leon, thank you for your recent support on my post. Hey Leon, thank you for listening into my Twitter spaces. Hey Leon, thanks for joining our Discord. I'd love to personally onboard you into our ecosystem and give you a welcome gift. Are you up for a 15-minute conversation together? Imagine if you are a holder or if you're someone in Web3 and you get a personalized message from a founder that you have seen, maybe you know of, maybe you don't. You get a personalized message, something people never get. It is all of a sudden going to make you stand out, whether they take the offer to hop on a call or not. It is going to make you stand out in their eyes. And it's going to allow you to build a personal relationship with that person. Hey Leon, I'm the founder of Unfungible. Would love to personally onboard you into our ecosystem. Hey Leon, I'm the CMO. Hey Leon, I'm the CBO. Whatever, no matter who it is. And your welcome gift can be as simple as whitelisting that person. If this is an ideal customer that you have, whitelist them into your project. If you have a platform, give them a $20 coupon that they can use to start trading on your platform. If you have nothing to offer, give them a private invite to your OG community on Discord. Like, find a way to create something valuable for people and use that as your onboarding mechanism. In a second, I'm going to tell you what exactly should happen during the call. But before this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say something because I want to emphasize this. If you start integrating this strategy into your Web3 marketing, you can expect to multiply the results that you are getting. Because all it takes are a few people that really know about what you do, that support you, to really kick off your project's launch and your kickoffs as marketing. We have some brands in our ecosystem, some brands that we've worked with that have launched entirely off this strategy. They have done nothing but this and have succeeded massively. Like Good Vibes Club, which is the case study that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. These guys raised millions off this strategy and the best performing NFT project in the last year. Same strategy has worked for pre-TGE project, post-TGE project, doesn't matter. So let's say you set up a system where your team reaches out to someone that looks like your ideal customer and you decide to take the initial calls. The framework that you are going to follow during the calls is going to be called C.A.S.H app. And I've simplified this in these terms for you to remember. C stands for clarify why they are here. A stands for ask them about themselves. S is for show them your V.E.T. We'll talk about this in a second. H, highlight your U.S.P, unique selling proposition. A, ask for feedback. P, present next steps. So present next steps. And then last P is preserve the relationship. So let's say you bring in someone on the call. It's like, hey, Leon, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day for this. I'm just very curious, man. I'm sure you get a lot of messages on a daily basis. I'm curious, what made you want to take this call from what I sent you? And the reason this question is important is because it'll uncover Oftentimes, what is it that people thought was most interesting about your project? So people might say, oh, I saw what you guys have and I thought the roadmap was very interesting. Or I thought the white paper was really cool. Or I like the branding. Or I personally like you as a founder. Or I'm just bored and I like to chat. So you'll uncover what exactly made people want to be on this call. Then you want to ask them about themselves. Please, for the love of God, never hop on a call and start sharing your screen before people start talking about themselves. Never, for God's sake. Get to know the people you're working with. Where are they from? How long have they been in Web3? Do they work full-time Web3? Do they not? What inspires them? What got them in? Get to know them. Not only does this build rapport and it builds a good connection, it gives you material to know a little bit about them. If you know that these guys were onboarded by collecting art, great, you have a good piece of information. Let's say these guys are computer engineers and work in the AI space. Great, you can highlight certain things about you're getting ammo that you can use during your discovery process. When you show them what you have, you can use that ammo to highlight certain points that they've told you are interested in. Ask them about themselves. Show them your V.E.T. V.E.T stands for vision, execution, and team. So a vision can be, at Unfungible, we believe that blockchain is the greatest technology at bringing people together and at solving the loneliness pandemic. We believe at Unfungible that in the future, every single person in the world is going to be using blockchain and NFTs in ways they don't even know about. And these tools are going to help build the future of digital communities and bring people together. The way we're trying to do this at Unfungible is by helping build super fan communities around the project figure, by using something called the founder funnel. You cannot build a narrative if you do not have a narrator. So our goal is to help these founders that have a strong vision that can bring blockchain into the hands of everyone, give them a fighting chance at getting heard. And the way we do this is we actually develop this product called the Founder Funnel Accelerator, which helps founders go from zero to hero and become a category king. That's how we help founders do what we do. That's a V.E.T, vision, execution, and team. Every team, every product, everything you do, you should have a V.E.T. Why do you exist? Well, so what is the hypothesis that made you exist? That's oftentimes your origin story, by the way. How do you plan on getting there? And then the team, who is the team? Well, on my side, Leon, I have a decade of community building experience. I've been building communities long before CryptoPunks was even minted on Ethereum. So I've been building communities for a decade now, and I've seen the power of communities, but also how hard it is to bring people together, have them stick together, and also care about the vision that you have, which is why I believe fill in the blank. That's the V.E.T, for example, of Unfungible. The unique selling proposition is when you want to talk about, cool, like what actually makes you guys unique? Like what is a different thing about you? Like for the U.S.P, I'll give you that on Fungible, for example, one that we'd use on calls. Like how in marketing, a lot of teams are stuck in a forever pay-to-play environment where they are only as relevant as the last marketing dollar that they've spent. And this forces them to abide by a stop and start marketing model where they stop marketing, they lose relevance, and then they need relevance again, so they pay, and then they stop because they can't continue paying forever. So then it creates this cycle, never-ending cycle of spend until they go bankrupt. The way we like to do marketing is we like to build owned marketing channels where the team and the founder have the ability to command attention on their own. They have a community of people that loves and respects them, and they have a founder presence that they can use to push any marketing message, any narrative that they have. So unlike a lot of the strategies or the agencies that would usually focus on doing these short-term activations, we like to focus on building these long-term narratives, a long-term brand presence. That's, how everyone does this? Well, we do that. That's the unique selling proposition. And that's a way of pitching it. It would work like for Unfungible, for example. Then ask for feedback. What do you think about what I just would love to hear? A quick tip, something I learned from the sales world, is not to ask, do you have any questions? Because that's a yes/no answer. Instead, I would ask, what questions do you have? That is assuming they have a question or they have a thought or they have something they want to share. When you say this, people are going to be like, oh man, I really love this. Or, hey man, this is really intriguing. Can you clarify this? And then next P is present next steps. What does present next steps look like? A concept that I want to share with you is the following. There's something called the community commitment curve, which talks about all the touch points that you want to have with your community to turn them from strangers, right here, to leaders. A leader is the ultimate goal of a community member, which is someone that is organizing workshops, is creating town halls, is leading and is representing your community for you without them being a team member. Anything you do in marketing, you always want to have a community ascension, a community commitment curve. The company that I've actually learned this from is Airbnb, and they've absolutely mastered it because they realized that the gap between a stranger and a host, someone who's opened up their home for a stranger, is very big. So they needed to break the experience into sub-experiences where the person travels through it. And it first starts by reading an article about being a host on Airbnb, how it works and how much money you can make. The next one, you go to the calculator on the website where you can calculate based on your area and your house, how much money can you be making. The third one is you attend one of the local workshops that they did for hosts. Then the fourth is for them to book their first stay as a guest, not as a host. So they become a guest before becoming a host. And then the last step is they become a host. This is an ascension that is smooth and warms people up during the process, and you can follow and handhold people throughout the whole journey. So for you, what does your community ascension curve look like? It can be the first yes, which by that point people should already be at, follow you on X, then join your Discord. Then maybe it's attend your town hall. Maybe you do a weekly town hall, which you absolutely should, and you want them to attend. Then you want them to register to your email newsletter or subscribe to your platform or register their wallet to the pre-sale, whatever that is. And then maybe it's them buying into the pre-sale. That's an ascension curve that you want people to travel through. So present the next steps right here. What is the next logical step based on where you met these people? If you met them here, that would be this step. If you met them here, that would be this step. So what is the next logical step that you can offer them and incentivize them for? And my recommendation is make this next step high friction and then give them an incentive to travel through it. So let's say usually the highest friction thing is getting people to register on the platform and deposit money. That's the hardest part. Imagine if during the call you actually help them register and then on the call you deposit the money for them. You're like, hey man, here's a $20 welcome gift or $5 welcome gift to the platform. Here's everything you need. Any questions? Boom, you've onboarded someone right then and there. They either use it or they don't. So that's an example of using the one-on-one interaction to help people travel through the highest friction point. And then finally, the last step that we have right here, the last P, is preserve the relationship. The way you preserve the relationship can be done in a lot of very simple ways. The first way, and the simplest one, is you're going to want to create an X list. So you create a private list on X, and then you put everyone you've spoken to in that list. And then you're going to make it a point every single day to engage with that list. What happens when people see you on their timeline? They see you commenting with you. They remember you. They'll start associating you with positive emotions because you support them. They'll want to support you back. So the simplest thing you can do is you can create a list that you start engaging with. Number two, you want to send people big announcements. So let's say you've just made a big announcement. You can use that to send them a personal message with the link to it. Hey, Leon, by the way, since we spoke, we just rolled out this next thing that I had mentioned about a couple weeks ago. Here it is. Or, hey, Leon, remember how I told you that we were about to launch our pre-sale? Well, here's the link, man. I've already whitelisted you. So all these things, you can use that. You can actually move into more personalized one-on-one relationship. I've been on the receiving end of this in projects that I'm part of. And bro, it's a great strategy. It works. It makes me feel special as a holder. It's like that restaurant that treats their biggest spenders. The biggest spender has the hotline of the restaurant manager. They can get a table anytime they want. They always get special bottle service. That's a white glove experience and people value that. You want your potential customers to feel that way. that's how you want them to feel. And this is a strategy that scales one-on-one relationship. So you want to find a way to scale that. I've seen teams have like crazy Excel sheets. So this right here is actually a slide from one of the private workshops that we did for our clients. And I just want you to see that slide. So this is Zagabon, the founder of Azuki. What you see is a strong community. What you don't see is hard work behind the scenes, onboarding new holders, one-on-one calls, DMs, everything it takes to grow the garden culture. And you can see the date, X handle, post link if they posted or where they met, what did they buy, sent onboarding info, person who welcomed them. You see, so that's an example of a sheet that you can use. And then we actually ask Zagabond one-on-one by DM why he invested so much time and energy in the more one-on-one personalized approach. And it was like every single holder is this thread in the fabric of our community. Their first interaction with us, that initial onboarding moment, often determines whether they'll become part of our story. By tracking these journeys, we've gained invaluable insight about our growth patterns and what truly resonates with our members. It's not about numbers, it's about understanding how to welcome people into our community in the most meaningful way. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the discovery call loop is a strategy that you can implement right now, instantly, today, for free into your Web3 marketing funnel, how it can help you and the results that it's going to derive, and the C.A.S.H framework that you can follow. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Leon. Make sure you check out the case study about Good Vibes Club and how they used and scaled this very strategy. I'm Leon Aboud. Let's make sure we're connected on X at LeonAboud_. And I shall see you in the very next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.